Hi everybody, welcome to Comics Tuesday. So, do you remember the time that Spider-Man ripped a dude's fucking face off? I do. Because that really happened. That, in the mainline Marvel continuity, our Spider-Man, Peter Parker, has ripped a dude's face off on 2 occasions. So I guess the lesson we can all learn from that is just don't kidnap and torture Spider-Man. And that's not just me trying to save face. Seriously, comic books can get weird. Like, really super weird. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some of the real notable examples of things getting very not normal. There's so much of this stuff. I could never tell you about all of it. So my goal is to just show you the insane depths of, weird goings on. And so, because of that, because of the nature of this video, it's going to be kind of, not in any particular order. I'm just going to be telling you a bunch of things that I think are interesting. But to give it some semblance of structure, I'm going to start and end with some really strong points. Let's get started. Let's see. Yep. So, starting off, Doctor Strange. If you open a Doctor Strange comic, anytime, ever, you're probably going to have no idea what's going on the page. But that's the fun of reading Doctor Strange. Batman. Through Batman's history, he's been prone to, let's call it mood swings. Yeah. And aside from that, Batman once turned into a vampire. In the Ultimate Universe, during Ultimatum, the Blob eats the Wasp. And in retaliation, Giant Man eats the Blob. Cannibalism. Also, in the Ultimate Universe, during Cataclysm, when Galactus is attempting to devour the Ultimates planet Earth, Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat from the X-Men, she sees the big purple guy trying to destroy the planet, and, kind of says, I'm gonna sock you right in your kisser. So, Kitty Pryde punches Galactus. You got Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman has one weakness. That is, if a man ties her up, she's powerless. It's odd. In Spider-Verse, there's an there's a countless number of different variations of Spider-Man. And we've talked about Spider-Verse before. It's episode 1 of this show. Go check it out. In Spider-Verse, one of the many Spider-Men is a car. And his name is Peter Parked Car. I'm not making that up. And the Hulk. The Hulk has this great storyline, and when you're reading it, it's a great story. But let me give you the summary instead. The Hulk, because he's smashing up so much stuff, the other Marvel heroes decide that he's too great a threat to be left on Earth. So they fire him up into space, and he lands on this planet wherein he has to participate in gladiator-style death battles. And so the Hulk is wearing armor and swinging swords and competing in this big coliseum, and he becomes their king. He comes back pissed off and beats up the other heroes. Comic books. There's an Iron Man storyline called Extremis, in which Tony Stark contracts this deadly disease that turns a person's flesh into metal. And so, of course, Tony Stark, he's just so darn smart that he reprograms his disease so it turns his body into the right kinds of metal in the right places, and he gets a new improved suit of armor, of course. the Flash. Okay, the Flash's powers enable him to travel at any speed. That includes so fast that he can time travel. And as a general rule of time travel, once you introduce it, the stories get weird, it gets convoluted, it folds in on itself and gets too confusing. And with the Flash, yeah, that happened. Barry Allen, after his death, still shows up about a half dozen times. Bart Allen looks like an adult, even though he's like 6 years old. And Wally West, in one particular fight that he has, because of time traveling, he is there himself. There's 3 of him, all from different points in time. In Uncanny Avengers, there's this entire story arc where Captain America is pulling this long joke. Captain America had just had an explosion go off in his face, and so he pretends to have hearing damage throughout the rest of the arc. And so he's trying to communicate with people, and he's just basically yelling at them because he thinks it's funny. Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, died from cancer, which is odd. It's jarring that a superpowered alien doesn't get killed by some ray gun or Galactus's foot or something odd like that, but no, cancer, it's a real thing that's very sad. I can't do this topic without telling you just a handful of my favorite goofy supervillains. Hit-Monkey, Vincent Stegron, the Dinosaur Man, Larfleeze, Galactus, Stiltman, and more than half of the Flash's bad guys. And so finally we come around to the biggest one, the biggest on this list. If you have an afternoon to kill, laughing your ass off, then go to superdickery.com. I'm going to link it down in the description. But there's this certain period in Superman's publication where they printed every ridiculous idea you can ever think of. Oh my god, you will not believe some of the stuff that they actually had Superman doing. It's one of my favorite websites. Check that out. Like I said, I could keep going all day, but there's only so much that I have time to put in a video. So hopefully I demonstrated just how weird comics can get. Because of course they can. We're talking about a medium where the majority of the characters have superpowers. They can do pretty much anything that you can think of. So they're going to end up doing some weird things. And if you ask me, that's one of the most beautiful things about comic books. So now it's time for the viewer question of the week, which is, if you could choose any 2 superpowers, what would you want? For me, I would want the Flash's speed, as well as Spider-Man's spider sense. Because then I could react to anything anyone does before they do it. You hear that, Mom? Stop jumping out and trying to scare me! Leave your answer down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and come back next week for the next Comics Tuesday. And on the next Comics Tuesday, we discuss who's the best superhero that's also an animal. Thanks for watching.